Okay, we're going to focus on the smaller ones. I'll take this off the board because I'm having trouble. Okay, that's the best focus right there. Okay, now this smallest one that you see on the 48 square foot is the ones that the Lord gave me about 10 years ago when I found myself homeless in Vancouver Island. So I designed these up and to be a portable shelter for people that don't have a place to stay. That's why I call them ARC shelters. So basically you have your walk-in just like you see. Your door here is just like you see. And so from the base of the floor up, you would have your, if you're over 6 foot, you probably would have to duck, but you would have your place to stay out of the elements, and the back part is made into like a bench where you would pull your bed would fold up to become like a couch, and it would fold down to become like a place for sleeping. And that would still allow you room to do your cooking and maybe have a little bathroom facilities there. And because this is all built in, you could actually have like a built-in toilet. All your septic and all that goes in. You can have water on one side and septic on the other, and a little propane cooking unit on the inside, and you're fully set up. It'd be like living in a small camper. Much more diversified, and something that's going to stand up, to the elements and things like that. And you can so design it something like this. You probably want like a tandem axle to carry the weight, because they are going to be a little bit on the heavy side, because you're going to 2x6 framing, 16 inches on center, and you have to remember you're probably going to have like a plywood skin with the metal skin over the top, like we do for the old Airstreams, something like that, something that you could put together and pin together or whatever. And the door I'd probably leave the same, or if you're just going to if you're not going to use it for storage, then you can just make this into a standard door. And if you were going to use it for like for storage, I'll leave the geometric design. So this allows you to attach your tunnel assemblies, right? If you're going to use it to make into a underground shelter for storing food, where you could put it inside of a hill, this would be put back in, and you'd have your your connecting piece going in like that to allow you access. So they can use for arcs. Be excellent for because of the size of your bench. It's 24 inches here, right? That you could make when you got a full 48 inches from here to the top. And I think your jar cases, I think they might be 11, 12 inches, 12 by 16. And that will allow you to put 2 cases side by side. And so for every 16 inches, you could actually have 2 cases, right? So you'd have 3 cases per 4 feet, or 6 cases per 8 feet. You probably end up getting 7 because you have to allow for your end walls. So that give you 2 times 7, about 14 cases per jar. So every 8 inches high, whatever they are. And so 16 inches high would give you 14, 28 dozen. And so you could probably have quite a few dozen of jars here. Probably 50, 60 dozen jars. And if you actually made the you can make the shelvings for it, so where you could actually have maybe 2 jars high per per shelving or something like that. And that's just for when you're in transport. You don't want the stuff knocking around. So you don't want some kind of doors on it, and so you'll be able to do that. And on the underside, you're going to use it for can storage. You know, be able to use the bottom maybe for putting your grain and stuff like that, like for like an understorage system. There's a lot of stuff you can do with this. Another thing that you would need on places of refuge or on these cities of light, besides having maybe portable guest rooms like these ARC shelters, they're kind of on the small side, or can storage built inside of a hill, and that is you're going to need saunas. So something like this, you could easily make into a sauna for a family, and you got everything that you need there. You got your water, you got your runoff for your sauna. So it'd be perfect. You could have everything built in place. Like I was saying, on your skylights, you could build your skylights and you can put them on top. And so that way you have your privacy. And another thing that came to me today about this is when you're actually fabricating your undercarriage system, you can make it so you could have your steel outriggers that pull out. You can pull them out by hand here, and then you would have probably just like a hand crank where you could just crank everything down, so you can actually lift it right off the ground. We can level it, and that way your wheels are not on the ground, right? So that'd be another feature to look at. But as far as the smaller design here, it'd be quite portable. I'll probably make them, you know, if you're just under 7 feet in width, I'd probably go to like an 8 foot, maybe an 8 and a 12. You could go 8, 10, and 12, and or even longer. You could even make them. I'd probably go 8, 12, and 16. I'd go to those three different lengths. And 16 would be like still doable for the size and still handle the transport on the highways. Probably 8, 12, and 16 foot, and that would allow you to go various directions with it. You don't really have a name for them. Maybe you guys out there, I really would like to hear back from you. But if you made these up in advance and got them on site, you know, just a trailer on your property, and you know, you could disguise it so it just looks like the everyday storage shed outside. That's portable, but it allows you to prepare in advance. And also as a utility storage, this would be perfect. Probably for a family, I'm just guessing about maybe 10 people or maybe a dozen people, and you could have your pre-make your shelves and put them in there, and you could have your people come. They're going to need blankets, they're going to need tarps, they're going to need sleeping bags, they're going to need, you know, different stuff like that, you know, pillows, stuff that we take for advantage now. When the time comes, even having a blanket or a sleeping bag, you know, a lot of people are it's not going to have it, right? And you know, socks, clothing, stuff for long term. And so when these are made, you know, they're designed to keep out the cold, keep out the elements, to keep out the moisture. You don't want any kind of mold or nothing like that growing on the inside. And so each one of these, you would have your own built-in system, and maybe like a solar panel on the outside that would power a small fan. So you actually have, you know, you could be pumping out the hot air on the outside, and that would pull the cold air on the bottom. So you could have hot coming out on top and cold going into the bottom. That way it's going to keep any kind of dampness from building up. As far as an elk shelter for staying in, it wouldn't take much heat at all to keep these things warm. Okay, I'm going to come back to you on the larger 75 square foot model and just do a little talk on that. This is Joshua Taylor coming to you from the east coast of Canada.